Look, it wasn't more. Look, it wasn't anything negative, but it was more, as I said, just looking. It's like, what are we spending our money on? And we were about to have a son who, look, he's 3.5 now, but we just were like, look, we're responsible people already, but we should actually our finances and trying to create a nest egg, because it wasn't just the two of us anymore. We were looking after third, and now we've got another little girl. So it's just more looking towards the future with that long-term vision. Actually, we're in a good financial position now, but we could actually be in a far better financial position moving forward.
I think we were kind of just like a duck treading, like we were just treading water. And if something unexpected came in, we were like, okay, crap, like how are we going to pay for that? Or how are we going to, you know, car rego would come in and we'd be like, oh yeah, cool, like scrimp and get it together and then pay it, rather than having the money there just to be like, okay, cool, it's covered, pay it, done. Like we weren't prepared for the unexpected.
Was that impacting you guys at home much, Cam?
It's caused a bit of extra stress that doesn't really need to be there.
A bit of friction.
Yeah,
that's common.
Well, when I first came on as a client, I was living like my best life, like just really doing things that I wanted to do in the now. Like I was, you know, spending, but I wasn't moving forward. Like I said, I wasn't where I wanted to be. And so I didn't really have much stress at that time because I thought everything was fine. But essentially, like I wasn't actually, you know, making the right decisions. So I was very like, you know, you know how much my budget's changed now and how I'm saving so much money because I was just hemorrhaging money because I didn't know, I didn't have any structure.
Do you feel like you were masking
oh yeah, it was
short-term happiness with what you were doing?
Yeah, it was just a coping mechanism, really. Spending. I was like, I need my nails done. I need my hair done. Like I need these things, but essentially like I definitely didn't. It was just, yeah. I was like, treat yourself.
Or just stressed out. Mostly unfulfilled because I just wasn't moving anywhere. I wanted to get the business going and start doing my own thing, but I just didn't know where to go from that.
And don't get twisted, like Damo, like all of our other clients, like he was making good money, doing his thing. Like he wasn't living pay to pay or anything like that. Like he was doing good. He was saving money, but there was no purpose behind it. So I think that's really important. A lot of people think, oh, if I'm making money and I'm saving money, we're good to go. But there's a lot more to it there. You know, you got to be able to enjoy it and live your life. And I think that's what he was watching our videos and he said to me at the start that we were, you know, he wasn't getting that. He had the money in the bank, was earning the money, but wasn't getting that out of it. So
yeah, wasn't getting anything in return for it.
Yeah, it was just like you just watch, you know, your birthdays come through and you're in the same spot. You haven't got any more money. I didn't. It was just, you know, I always had money, you know, like by money, I mean, you know, a few grand in savings, but it never went anywhere. And I just had a whole bunch of shit that I didn't need. Yeah, well, I suppose it wasn't so much impacting my life as it just wasn't helping it at all.
I thought it was quite stressful because I remember I'd be looking on shit like YouTube and just Googling random websites, trying to figure out where to invest my money, what best way to do it. But I was just going around in a circle, I think, of just reading too many things, too many different people's ideas and their goals, which weren't aligning with my current situation. And then it was quite overwhelming. So I think by coming to you kind of realigned my head and my goals to make them a bit more realistic, I guess, and then how to achieve them.
So before I'd gotten the full-time job and the pay rise or whatever, I was budgeting quite well, paying what I needed to pay. I was always good at that, paying my bills. I'm fine with that.
I hope so.
But
You've been kicked out in the street.
It's the excess that's the problem. There's stuff that I can actually spend. So once my bills were done, I just spend everything. And then I had some health issues that came up and I couldn't pay for certain things when I needed to. And I was like, oh, what the hell am I going to do? And mentally, I was like, I'm not getting anywhere. I'm working really hard. I've worked really hard for the past few years now. I'm not getting anywhere. And it was really frustrating me. I'm getting older. All those things start coming through your brain and you're like, what am I doing here? And my career isn't in the city. It's quite remote. So I'm like, why the hell am I in the middle of the desert earning this amount of money and saving nothing, doing nothing for my future, and doing nothing for myself with it?
I think that's a really key point too, B, because I don't know if you remember the meeting, but like I caught up with B and I saw a budget, and like we're talking a substantial income increase here, right? And B was in a worse mental space than when she was a trainee. Like she was less happy, and I could see it straight away. I don't remember the meeting, B, but I was like, this ain't on. Like you were stressed out. She was even considering like questioning what she was doing. Like that's how unhappy she was. She was just like, I don't know, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't know what I'm doing. And it was almost, I wouldn't say purely, but it was heavily related to the financial outcomes, because she'd done all this hard work to get to where she was, and she got there and wasn't progressing, was in the same spot. And that's pretty much the trigger where I went, right, you don't have a say in this. You're becoming a client, because this, I said that literally, you can like B's here, you can ask, this is literally what I said to her. I said, yeah, this is unacceptable. Your mindset right now and your happiness level on this difference, it's not acceptable, because the whole time we chatted while you're a trainee, you're like, I just got to get through this. I got to get there. And when I get there, I'm going to be good. And it didn't happen. And I think it's a really good lesson for you then to make early that, you know, more money doesn't mean more happiness if you're not doing the right things.
Absolutely.
No,
100%. Like, I know people that have the same income as me, if not more, and they've not managed their money correctly or in a way that serves them, and now they're stuck, or they've divorced and now they've got all this debt and no savings and no anything.
Look, I think financial things like that are always a bit of a black cloud over people's heads. And I think you go through peaks and troughs with it, where you feel good when the money's in the bank. And then when it's not, you know, it's that real trough situation that can be quite worrying and cause anxiety and just feelings of being out of control. And that's really not what we're wanting to achieve with our lives or our business.
100%. I think it's really important for people to watch. You guys have got a business that is got significant revenue from just its nature, right? Even the smallest of things cost a lot, and the smallest of things make a lot of money, right? Like the actual horse industry, the revenue is big numbers, and you nailed it perfectly. You said peaks and troughs. There's a lot of businesses like that, right? Cyclical businesses and stuff like that, and you get caught up in this world of when it's there, you spend it, and when it's not, you live on nothing, right? And it's this constant cycle, and it's a real stressful process. And I think coming on board and chatting with you guys the first time, that was the first thing I noticed, was you had the means there by far to live a really stable thing, but it was this peaks and trough cycle that we had to sort of structure and get away from. Obviously, it's not a perfect science, and you're not always going to completely nullify it, but being able to sort of structure it out long term helps out a lot, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I would say we had three major things we were sort of working towards. We had just bought a new car. We wanted to save to buy a house, and Shannon had just proposed. So we had three major things all happening at the same time. And we thought we kind of need help, I think, to do this as best we possibly can. So
Just drop all the big bombs on me.
Yep, deal with this. I think we both sort of knew here in Sydney that we had, you know, we were both on pretty good salaries. We kind of had money coming in, but didn't really know what to do with it. So I think when we approached you, you sort of helped us make a clear path. And I think that's really helped, you know, us actually be able to do all three of those things that we've wanted.